everybody. Thanks for joining the Ball 5 podcast. I'm your host, Scott Livingstone. And let's jump right into this weekend series. Aggies against the Gators down in Gainesville. Aggies dropped game one, 9-2. Wasn't a whole lot of offense from the Aggies. I mean, we got 5 hits with both runs coming on a Gavin Grahovac third inning 2-run homer, which also brought home Bear Harrison as well because he had singled before that. They had a pretty good pitcher going, but it was closer than the score would indicate. 9-2. It was 5-2 through 7 innings. So I think I thought we might be able to hold on in there and maybe get some of our pitchers in there to maybe hold that 5-2 lead. I know we ended an inning with who was it? Oh, Powell. He stayed into the game. He came into the game and pitched, but then we put in Luke Billings and Hunter Bond, who hadn't pitched, and they kind of ended up giving up 4 runs, and that ended up making the score 9-2. But, I think about it, it didn't give us a chance to see their closer or have them use the closer. If it had been within 3, I mean, that's the tying run, winning run going to be coming on deck. So it's a situation where we might have seen the closer, might have had an opportunity to get him to throw a number of pitches. But unfortunately, we gave up 4 more runs, and they decided to use somebody else to save him. And, I mean, their starting pitcher, Aiden King. I mean, everybody's talking about how he could be, if the season ended today, he could be the SEC pitcher of the year. And he backed it up right there. I mean, he threw a great ball game. I think our strategy against him was hit early, hit often, because he didn't walk a lot of people. I don't think he walked anybody in our game, but he's very confident, as we could see. But he had good stuff. But, I mean, as good as we are a good team. And I think if we faced him again, we'd get to him. I really feel like we would do that. And so when I look at Florida, I also think of kind of a comparison with LSU, because when LSU, they had good arms, good bullpen. They threw some big time arms at us, but they just didn't have the hitting. They had a couple guys at the top that could hit pretty good, but the bottom part of the order, not so good. And I kind of felt the same way about Florida. When you look at their stats and you kind of go through some of their games and look at some clips, they added a guy in there now. I think he's in the 6 or 7 hole, hit a home run, and he hadn't had a lot of at-bats. But, he hit a home run, maybe had a double or something, but he was a threat. And I'm pretty sure he won't be hitting in the 7th hole next go-around, but I'd take our 7th hole hitter over him any day. So our hits were Gavin's home run, Akopian, Dewar, Keel, and Harrison. So those were our hits for the day. That night we got 5, but the kid threw a good game. You can't, what else can you say? Threw a good game. Game 2, Aggies win 8-4. Liam Peterson, who's supposed to be a top 10 in the draft. I don't think so, but, who am I to say? He's projected. Sims throwing for us, so we felt pretty good. So Florida grabbed an early lead with a home run in the bottom of the 2nd. But the Aggs, top of the 3rd, Bear homered and a Copian double scored Gavin, who had walked. So that gave us a 2-1 lead. A 4th inning home run by Nico Partita made it 3-1, followed by a 5th inning absolute bomb to center field off the batter's eye by Gavin Grahovac. Dude's crushing it, man. Dude's crushing it. That scored Kellner as well, who had singled and was on base, so it made it 5-1. Florida added a home run, made it 5-2. Then, in the top of the 6th, something happened that I have actually never seen before. I thought I'd seen everything. But let's see, what was it? First, Partita singled. Keel hit into a fielder's choice, so it put him on first. They forced the out with Partita at second base. Then with Keel on first, he takes off stealing. Shortstop goes over to cover, which is normal because we had left-handed hitter up, Jorian. And he vacated the shortstop hole. Jorian punches one through there. I mean, it wasn't smoked, but it got enough to get to the outfield. And with Keel stealing, I mean, that kid was motoring. And Pennington, bam, love it, sending him all the way. But I felt like TK thought he was going the whole time. I mean, once he hit second, I had a feeling just the looking at the way he was running that he was going. And man, instinct by him to pick up on that. And that's a thing to all guys that are running the bases. I mean, when you get to second base, don't be looking for your third base coach when that ball's in front of you. You can tell if you're going to make it or not. And I think in his mind, he knew he was going to get 2 bases. And it was awesome. And that made it 6-2. He reminded me of a guy that I played with in Detroit. His name was Milt Kyler, center fielder that could fly. And it's the first time I've seen a guy score on a sac fly to center field from second base. It's crazy. But, some people go lax there. They think, this guy's going to take the next base, so let me just lob the ball in, or let me just catch it going backwards instead of surrounding it and getting underneath it. But I think that was awesome. It was so fun to watch, and it was great. Florida pushed another run across, made it 6-3. The 7th was pretty quiet. And in the 8th, Jorian Wilson, who hit one slowly through the shortstop hole, decided to send one into another zip code. I mean, he crushed it. He cleared everything. And that scored TK, who had walked, and made it 8-3. Final score ended up 8-4. I missed most of the end because I was prepping the house for possible tornadoes and hail that were entering the area. But all is good, though. Game 2, this past game, Gavin was 4 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Akopian, 2 for 5 with an RBI. Partita, 2 for 5 with an RBI. TK, 1 for 4. Jorian, 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Bear, 1 for 5 with an RBI. And Kellner was 2 for 3. So good time to get that win, and the boys stepped up and took care of that supposed draft choice. Game 3, we're going for the series win. Moss versus Sandifer. Aggies pulled it off, man, 5-1. And I tell you what, it's a nice luxury because Coach Early, I used to joke all the time, like when we were in Detroit, I was playing at the Tigers, that, the lineup cards came pre-printed with the names already in the lineup from the manufacturer, whoever sent them in. It's kind of just a joke. But I feel like this is what Coach Early can do now. He has the luxury of being able to have the same lineup throughout many games in a row, and to get those guys to know where they're hitting, when they're coming up, who's behind them, and you just start getting used to that. There is nothing better than having a consistent lineup all the way through, and to be able to just play those guys and just roll it out there and let's go play. So I think that's huge. So there wasn't a lot that happened in Game 3 till top of third. Grahovac base hit, scored Kellner, who had singled, and he advanced to second on an error by the third baseman. So if you saw that, third baseman should have never thrown it, but he went ahead and did. Don't know what he's thinking. Grahovac would eventually come around to score on a Copian sac fly that made it 2-0. And one thing that I noticed too, though, is like my wife even said it. It's like, man, you can't even hear the fans. Their ballpark's like really quiet. And I'm like, there's no place like Bluebell. I mean, the fans are into it. It's great. And I think it's awesome. Of course, you hear all the players talk about it, the fans. And so, I mean, you just can't beat the 12th man. And you can't even hear those guys on TV in the Florida stands. And I mean, LSU, that got quiet quick when we took care of business there. But, I think it was that's to our advantage. And I mean, that's why people don't want to come to Bluebell. But we would like to play at Bluebell, but we ain't afraid of nobody. In the top of the 4th, Wilson singled to right field on an 0-2 pitch and eventually scored on a wild pitch to make it 3-0. Bottom of the 4th, Florida made it 3-1. And then top of 6, Wilson decided to homer to center field again. Kids hitting bombs all over the place. It's interesting, that inning, I think maybe Sully, which they call him, Sullivan, Florida coach, probably should have taken a page out of our book that if we get behind by a certain number of runs, we might just bring in our closer to shut it down. I said a la Cortez back in the day. Maybe Fresh Corn. I don't know if they'll ever use him like that. But they hadn't used their closer for the first 2 games. So he was fresh, ready to go. So what were they going to do? Hold him to get a lead? Remember, you don't have the bang in the lineup like we do. So I thought he should have started that inning, but he didn't. And what happened was Jorian hit his home run, and then Bear doubled. So they didn't use a closer. So by that time, it was 4-1. I think it was a big mistake by the coach. Huge opportunity. Could have kept it 3-1 and maybe not a guy on second base. Who knows what happened? Because at the end, their closer came in and did the job. I mean, it kept the game pretty quiet. And on their end, I mean, Lions and Fresh Corn were doing their jobs too. Bottom of the eighth had some action to remember. They bring in the closer, and it could still be 3-1, but it's not because he didn't bring him in. But now it's 4-1. They get a guy on first and second, and I'm sorry, they get a base hit and a double. They get so they're on second and third. They fly ball to Jorian, and he does a great job. There's a couple times I thought he could have gotten in better position to get behind the ball, run through it, and make the catch and have his momentum going towards home or towards third, wherever he was going to throw the ball. And I think he did a great job this time because we know he's got a rocket arm. And so the guy took off, tried to tag up on him, and Jorian threw a strike. And the one thing that I really liked about his throw, too, not only getting behind the ball to get your momentum going towards it, was he gave Bear a long hop. So he didn't short hop him because that's tough with a catcher's mitt on to make a short pick of a ball or dig it out of the dirt. But to give him that long hop, even though he probably could have thrown it all the way, he didn't. He gave him a long hop to catch it, and they tagged the runner out. So it was great. Top of the ninth, Bear homered for a final of 5-1 with Fresh Corn shutting the door. So all in all, another series win. Aggies are hot, and we need to be because we got number 8, Auburn, coming to town. So, taking a look at Auburn, well, let's talk about rankings and stuff like that now. I know I don't think a big deal about rankings, but we're number 5 in the RPI, which I look at that, and Auburn's number 6. So they're right there. If you want to look at rankings, we're number 7, they're number 8. So, I mean, it doesn't get any closer than that. And so it should be a really great series this weekend. Auburn's 5th in the SEC. They are 30-13 overall, and 12-9 is their record in the SEC. Just to give I think they play better at home. I really do. They're 20-8 at home. Away, they're 5-5, and neutral, they're 5-0. So pretty good neutral, but good thing we're not playing them like at Globe Life or something. They swept Missouri. Go figure. They beat number 3 Georgia Tech 4-3, which Georgia Tech number 3 playing well. They lost 2 of 3 from Texas. They got swept by Alabama. Alabama's up and down, man. You never know. They lost to Georgia Tech in a midweek game, so there's a little payback for Georgia Tech. They took 2 of 3 from Arkansas, 2 of 3 from Kentucky, 2 of 3 from Florida. Guess who their loss was to? Aiden King. You kind of know that deal. 2 of 3 from Oklahoma. And, like I said, I think they just play better at home. But guess what? They're not at home. Conference stats, they're hitting 264 in conference, 23 home runs in conference. They're fielding at a 977 clip, so that's pretty darn good. And that's in conference. As far as the hitters go, they got Eric Guevara. He's hitting at 403. Ethan Bingaman is hitting at 304. Everybody else is under 300, and these are conference numbers, not overall conference, because that's like opponents. That's what I like. 2 guys have 5 homers. And, so comparison with us, we have 4 guys over 300. We're hitting 283 as a team, fielding 981. Bam. And home runs, Grahovac with 9. Sorrell, Partita with 7. And Harrison and Wilson with 6. Each of them have 6. So Auburn's got a pretty good pitching staff. I think they stumbled a little bit this last week. But they got a Petrovic. He's got a 3.05 ERA, and opponents are hitting 193 against him, so might have to watch out for him. And a guy named Marciano's got a 2.5 ERA, and people are hitting 215. And then that typical TBD for the third one. So anyway, I think it's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be a great series to watch. Auburn's going to be good. They've got a great coach, and I just think it's going to be a tough matchup. So should be fun to watch, and I hope it's fun to watch because I hope the Aggies are winning. So best of luck to the Aggies, man. So, all right, folks, that's it for this recap. I appreciate you listening. Until next time.